This video will age like fine wine and likely go down as one of the greatest predictions and videos of the entire century. This is going to be like that video where that one guy told you to buy Bitcoin at like $100 or $50. I mean, that's basically what this video is, but on steroids and an improved version. And really, it's a second chance for you to buy Bitcoin at $100. But instead of buying Bitcoin at $100, you get to do that on Monero, which is going to go to $3,800 and beyond in the coming years. It will not be an easy path. It will not be an easy road. But what I want you to know before we embark on this journey together is that there is beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. And if you understand that, let me explain to you why Monero is going to pull a 30x plus. But guys, look, the truth is Monero is not even about making money. Okay, it's about what it enables you to do and what it's about to save you from in the coming years. If you didn't know, in 2023, the CBDC is supposed to be launched. Now, what is the CBDC? Some of you may be asking. That is the central bank digital currency. Think basically USDC, right? Or a stable coin on Ethereum blockchain, right? Instead, it's going to be the government stable coin, and you're going to use it, and they're going to have control over your money, likely, okay? Because most likely you're going to be using a non-custodial government wallet to access your CBDC, which means not your keys, not your coins. So it's actually not your money anymore, because most likely the government has access and control to it. They can limit you, monitor you, track you, stop you, and there's just so many negatives that come with that, okay? And so it's really sad to see that some people are looking forward to a CBDC. I mean, I don't know what is happening in this world that people are actually looking forward to a CBDC. I mean, that just kind of shows you how jacked up this world is right now. But nonetheless, some of us haven't lost our minds and our brains. And for those of us is where this massive opportunity lies. Guys, when I tell you buying Monero at $100 is like buying Bitcoin at $100, if you do your own research, spend some time on the topic, I think you'll actually realize I'm not BSing you. And so let me tell you why Monero is going to get to $3,800 a coin and beyond. But let's just be honest and say at minimum it's going to get to $1,000 a coin if you're so focused and worried about price. Well, what do you see in front of you guys? You see a 5-year massive cup and handle. Okay, since 2017, this cup and handle has been forming. And you guys know on this channel, I'm all about charts, patterns, divergencies, and I'm like 90% technical analysis, okay? But when you have the fundamentals and the actual real world catalysts and events to go together with the technicals, that is a powerful, powerful setup, okay? So let me explain to you. You have a massive cup and handle that's been forming for 5 years. A massive bull flag that has been forming since 2020 COVID dip, okay? And so if you don't know, you're just a complete noob, it's okay. This is two super, super bullish chart patterns, okay? And basically, in a nutshell, you should expect way higher prices based on these patterns. And the higher the time frame, the pattern, the more reliable it is. And so when we have these patterns forming on such massive time frames, guys, this is something in the making for a while now. The foundation and the base has been set, and it's been forming, guys, truly in silence for pretty much the last 5 years. Guys, this is such an incredible opportunity. And if you didn't know, CBDC, like I said, is supposed to come in 2023, which makes sense that the US is going to try to rush their government currency out. The faster they can get it out, the faster they can track us, the faster they can limit us, the faster they can control anything and everything we do. Okay, on top of that, you guys already know, I believe China has their digital yuan out already. So once again, it's in the US's best interest to get their government digital currency out as soon as possible. And so if we understand that, we know it's coming sooner than I honestly expected. All right, I thought it was going to be like 2024, 2025, but recently we heard Jerome Powell say 2023. Okay, I saw a clip on Twitter. Guys, you know me, I don't keep up with the damn news very much, but luckily I was able to stumble upon that clip. Okay, so look, once again, when it comes to news events and real world events, I'm probably not the guy to go to, but I know at the very least the surface level things I need to know, which is CBDC in 2023. Digital yuan is already out. There's competition. There's a rush to be had here, and the US is going to want to and needs to get that out as soon as possible, right? And so, once again, a lot of people will say, okay, why Monero? I mean, why not just buy Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is uncensorable. That's not true, guys. Let me give you an example, right? So, you know how recently people donated money to Ukraine during the war? Well, let me give you a more reasonable example than this. Let's say you actually donated money to Russia in some way, or you sent money to Russia, someone who's an enemy right now to the US, right? And now the US can see that because, well, it's public record. It's all stored on the blockchain, whether you sent that on Ethereum network, Tron network, Bitcoin network, everyone can see that you sent money to Russia. And now the US is going to say, hey, you sent Bitcoin to Russia, we're going to put you in jail. Okay, so maybe your Bitcoin wasn't censorable because you were still able to send that transaction, but now you're in jail and you definitely can't send a transaction when you're sitting in jail. Okay, obviously, maybe that's not the greatest example ever because maybe it sounds a little unreasonable to some of you. But one, I'd argue it's not entirely unreasonable. And two, we can probably come up with an even better example. So, once again, let's say you donated money to a Black Lives Matter organization, for example, right? And now you go into a store, and this store knows that, hey, you sent money to Black Lives Matter. They don't want to serve you or they don't want to sell to you. Now you may say, hey, that's fine. That's free market. Anyone can refuse service to me if that's what they want. But once again, people shouldn't be seeing your transaction history like that and being able to just say like, oh, hey, we saw you donate to Black Lives Matter. Therefore, we don't want to give you anything at our store. That's a more personal example, right? Without government involved here. Let me give you one more example. Let's say, okay, once again, you sent money to Russia or an enemy territory or an enemy country, or you sent $1,000 or $10,000 without reporting it to the IRS or the government or something like that, or whatever rules they come up with to control you. And so let's say you sent X amount of money, didn't report it or whatever, however you did it, that the government's not happy with it, and now you're going in, you're trying to renew your driver's license or renew your passport, and guess what? They scan, they see what you've done on the blockchain, and it's all public, and we can see what you did. Oh, hey, Johnny, we see you sent $10,000 and you didn't report that to us. We're not going to give you your driver's license. Hey, we're not going to renew your passport. These are just three examples I just came up with right off the bat, right off the top of my head. And you know what? If we didn't have a public blockchain, none of that should be possible and none of that should be a thing. Okay, so let me give you one more example, right? So let's say you are a store, and we obviously know adoption of crypto is growing over the years, and it is the future, right? And so let's say you're a store that accepts Bitcoin, and obviously we can all see how much Bitcoin you fucking have in your wallet, right? A lot of people don't even realize that, but let's say you're a store and you've collected $500,000 of Bitcoin at your coffee shop over like 10 years, let's say, right? And now the government sees, oh, look at this Starbucks, or hey, look at this local coffee shop. These guys have collected $500,000 in Bitcoin. You know what? Let's impose and let's just enforce and let's make sure that these guys actually give us 80% of their money, right? 80% sounds wild, but who's to stop the government, right? They can do that if they want to. And what are you going to fucking do about it, right? And so you can be controlled, grabbed by your balls, or in this case, by your Bitcoin, because we can all see what you did, how you did it, when you did it, who you send it to, right? We can literally control you, refuse service to you, refuse passport renewal, driver's license renewal. It just so many examples. Like you can think of infinite ways that this can actually bite you in the ass, okay? And so if you think, well, what's the solution to that? How am I going to get around this? Okay, especially if, right, people thought, hey, CBDC is coming in 2023, so I'll just avoid that by using Bitcoin. No, you're definitely not going to get around that by using Bitcoin because look, if you think that Bitcoin maybe is not crazy regulated right now, maybe it's not crazy tracked right now, wait until the government has the CBDC in their hands, guys. And when they have the CBDC in their hands, I guarantee you they are going to track and monitor Bitcoin and Ethereum use 10, 20x. They're probably going to have, so much more surveillance. They're going to crack down and track it probably 50 times more than they are today. And so you're not realizing how, how strict it can get in the future, right? Especially if they don't want you to use Bitcoin, they want you to use the government currency so they can see, track, limit, and literally have control over everything you do. At the end of the day, whether you agree with me or not, I have to tell you that there is one solution that sticks out above all right now. Because if you think you're going to get away from the CBDC by using Bitcoin or Ethereum, I got news for you. Like I just explained, not going to fucking happen. Okay? And that is why one solution sticks out and stands out above all. And that is Monero. What Bitcoin was supposed to be, okay, and this is so cliche to say, I'm not saying anything new here, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here, but what Bitcoin was supposed to be, you have it here. Peer-to-peer, digital electronic cash, okay, because in the Bitcoin white paper, it says it's supposed to be peer-to-peer digital electronic cash. Well, if it's cash, right, if it's digital cash, well, it can't be. Bitcoin can't be digital cash because it's not private, right? When I hand John a $20 bill, no one in the world knows that I handed him that $20 bill. It's private, right? Cash is private. And of course, guys, like I said, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking or new here. It's fungible, right? So if I used $100 in a drug deal 10 years from now, okay, we can still use that $100 today, all right? All dollars are equal as long as it's not like ripped up or you don't put a bunch of Sharpie on it or something, you know what I mean? And it's fungible, right? Whereas if you use Bitcoin in a drug deal or, in some bad way, that Bitcoin is not the same as another Bitcoin that is clean, right? Because we can all see, oh, this Bitcoin was used in a drug deal. That this Bitcoin is now less valuable, right? So that's the simple truth. I know it's not something that people run into very often, but it is something you should consider, especially when the government is going to be tracking you. And imagine what happens when the government starts labeling your transaction as dirty. Oh, now your Bitcoin is worthless, right? Because the government can label that Bitcoin and say it was used for illegal activity, this or that, and now your Bitcoin is not worth shit. Bitcoin is not private, therefore it can't be electronic or a digital cash, right? And so this right here, this is digital cash. No, it's not. It's not even your money, okay? This right here, yeah, it's your money, but it's definitely not digital cash. And so you tell me, what else is digital cash out there? Bitcoin Cash? No, it's public. Tron? No, it's public. Ethereum? No, it's public. And all this shit's going to be tracked and used against you to incentivize you to come back to the government currency right here. Monero is the one solution that sticks out above all, which has the greatest base, foundation, structure, community, people who have been dedicated to this for the last 5 years, regardless of the price, using it for what it is, not to just make money. Okay, this is the solution that the dark web has adopted. Okay, and so many people will ask me, well, Alex, why Monero? Why not like Zcash? Well, look, guys, people in this world who value and care about privacy the absolute most, people who are on the dark web right now, and by the way, I do not want to make it sound like, oh, people on the dark web, guys, privacy is something that everyone should have. It shouldn't be like, oh, privacy is only for guys who want to do stuff on the dark web. So let's get that straight, okay? But let's say right now, the people who value privacy the absolute most, who need it the absolute most, right? And they need to transact privately on the dark web, for example, what are they using, guys? Are they using Zcash? No, guys, they're using Monero, and they're using it for a reason, because they value their privacy, and they believe that Monero is going to give them that best level of privacy. On top of that, there's tons of articles which have shown that Zcash has been cracked, and it's been cracked easily. By the way, it's not private by default. There's public transactions on Zcash, and there's non-private transactions. No, they're private, and there are non-private transactions. Okay, on top of that, I want to tell you one more thing, okay? The IRS has a $600,000 bounty on Monero for anyone who can crack it. Okay, do they have a $600,000 bounty on Zcash? No, they don't. And so those 2 points I just gave you is one, who are the people in the world that value privacy the absolute most using? They're using Monero, not Zcash. And two, who does the IRS have a bounty on? Do they have a bounty on Monero, or do they have a bounty on Zcash? Guys, that, boom. Debate is closed. End of debate. End of story. Why would you buy Zcash instead of Monero? Okay, the only reason I could think of maybe you would do that is because you're trying to make money. You're trying to diversify only. Like that is maybe the only reason, right? Is because maybe you think that hey, the government's not going to be so strict on Zcash, therefore I could buy this, still make money through the privacy narrative, and come out on top. Whereas Monero, it may be risky because of government regulation. And that is probably the only reasonable reason I could think of if you're someone thinking that, okay? So hopefully I've proved to you why Monero is the #1 solution. And guys, hopefully you realize what is coming. And if you try to avoid it with what normies and what most people think they're going to avoid it with, which is Bitcoin, you're not going to avoid it. And so that leaves us with one and the most logical solution, which is Monero. Okay? And so when you understand, like I just gave you an example. Remember, I said, what if out of 2,000 billionaires in the world, 10% of them say, you know what, I'm not cool with this whole CBDC thing. You know, you can miss me with that bullshit. I want control over my money. I don't want to be tracked. I want to have some privacy. And guess what? Once again, if they try to go to Monero, Bitcoin, it's not going to be the solution. They try to go to Ethereum, it's not going to be the solution. The solution they're going to run into is Monero. What happens when you have 200 billionaires in the world? Just 10% of the billionaires in the world buying Monero. Okay? And that's billionaires. Now let's talk about the millionaires. Now let's talk about the regular people who wake up and realize, okay, there is so much money that will be flown into Monero, and people just don't realize it yet. They're not thinking about the CBDC. They're not thinking about how if people try to avoid CBDC and go here, that's not the solution, and then all roads end up most likely leading to Monero, unless something superior or something more widely used becomes the preference in the privacy space. But Monero is the Bitcoin of privacy sector right now. So that's your safest, best bet, and it has the most adoption on the dark web, as well as just for people who want privacy. And so this is the biggest, most simple, greatest play of the century, guys. Okay, there will, in 20, 30 years from now, people will never get to say they lived before the CBDC came out. Okay, and we do, and we're going to take advantage. And this is why we're going to see so much money flow into Monero, as people are going to try to get some privacy back, get some freedom back, okay? And that is why I believe so many people are going to come into Monero over the coming years, and that is why you should be prepared. You should be stacking Monero through this bear market, and that is why I believe we're going to head up to $3,500+ a coin. First target, obviously, 1,000. But guys, even if Monero stayed at $114, okay, that's the same as owning a digital dollar, right? Except, think about it, instead of having a digital dollar that you're tracked on, that's not actually true cash, that you're being tracked, traced, limited, freaking everything that could go wrong, it could possibly go wrong, could go wrong against you if you use that, right? And so instead of having a stable $1 coin, let's say this thing stays at $115 over the next 10 years. Okay, great. You still avoided this shit, all right? So this is an awesome play, because even if it doesn't go up, like, you actually have something that you can use, and something that's likely going to pick up a lot of traction, and something that, you're going to go to your coffee shop and you're going to say, hey, psst, psst, can I pay you in Monero? And then they're going to pull out this QR code and they're like, yeah, please send me Monero so I don't get taxed. Or send me Monero so, the government doesn't seize my money. You know what I mean? It's better to have access to your money than to not have access to your money. Okay, like I don't know. It's such a no-brainer, guys. This is the biggest play of the century, and I'm so damn excited about this, and I'm really looking forward to, one, hedging against what is coming. And this hedge doesn't even have to be about money. It's about actually being able to transact without letting the government have control over my money, right? Like, that is huge. And obviously not being censored against because, I sent money somewhere and the government doesn't like that. Or, oh, I didn't report this $10,000 transaction to the government. Now they're going to slap me on the wrist and put me in jail for a day or something. You know what I mean? So most paths lead to Monero. The only way Monero is not going to blow up, guys, and explode to the upside is if there's just a better privacy solution that comes out. But like I said, see what do the people who value privacy the most in this world, what are they using? They're not using Zcash, they're not using Dash, they are using Monero, and that is all you need to know, really, guys. All right, no debate needed. It's pretty damn simple, guys. So that is my explanation on why I think Monero is going to go to 3,400, 3,500. You have a massive cup and handle CBDC in 2023. People will try to avoid CBDC. They're going to realize BTC is not that solution, and most paths and roads lead to Monero. massive bull flag. Okay, and look at this, guys. This is a cup and handle. You got to realize this handle is being formed in one of the nastiest market crashes, and this handle is still holding up. So typically in the handle, you're supposed to see more buy volume, okay, than sell volume. But you got to realize this is through a nasty, nasty bear market and recession. So the fact that this handle is even holding up through this recession, guys, I think that just shows you the strength and the base and the foundation that's being built up here. Okay, I want to point out something to you, by the way. No one's talking about this, but Monero, guys, is outperforming Bitcoin in 2022. Okay, look at this. I know 2022, it's only June. We're only halfway through the year. Okay, but I want you to see this. You know, since 2022 started, Monero is outperforming Bitcoin. Look at this. Okay, outperforming Bitcoin since the start of let's say January was right here. Okay, by 10%. That's not a lot, but that's if you measure from January the 1st. So obviously that's nitpicking your spots. If you want to measure it from the low, right, however you want to measure it, people are going to try to make their story sound so good and put the facts completely in their favor. I'm just going to show you, like, overall this year, Monero is outperforming Bitcoin, which, remember, Bitcoin is the most, safest coin during a market crash. It's the coin that's supposed to crash the least during a market crash. Okay, now I want you to look at how Monero has performed against Ethereum. It's totally destroyed Monero this year. Totally destroyed Ethereum this year. Look at this, guys. I mean, what the hell? All right, so let's say you bought, Ethereum this year on January the 1st. You're down. You would have made 69% more on Monero right now, guys. So it's crushing Ethereum. And what I want you to know is Monero doesn't move like an altcoin. Well, that's not true. Sometimes it does. But Monero this year is performing like a blue chip. Okay, it's holding up so damn well throughout the bear market, and I think that comes down to what we've talked about, guys. People, smart people, okay, not sheep, but smart people are preparing for the CBDC, and smart people are stacking in preparation for what's coming. You have two of the most bullish chart patterns, okay, forming here, and you have the catalyst, you have the real world events, and we are the only people who ever get to front run the CBDC. So that is my bull case and breakdown on Monero. And I want you to notice something. Okay, so look at this bull flag here. You can see from the bottom in the COVID dip, we ran up, guys, 1,800%. Now, typically, guys, how you get your bull flag target is you actually take the pull, okay, and you actually take it where the bull flag is going to break out. So depending on where the bull flag breaks out, let's say it's in 2023, okay, you can see we went up 1,800%, right? And so let's say there's diminishing returns. I don't think there's going to be diminishing returns considering what's coming, guys, and the amount of money that's going to be flowing into Monero, in my opinion. But let's say you had diminishing returns from this flagpole, okay? 1,900% on the first run up of that flagpole. And let's say right now you went up only 800%, right? Let's say you went up half, right? Because price is maturing, the assets may be maturing. Although, dude, this thing is not maturing. This thing is only in its beginning stages, guys. But if it goes even half as much as the original pull of this flag, okay, that gets you up to $1,500 a coin. Once again, think about what's coming. Think about how Monero is outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two blue chip cryptos, during this massive crash and dip. Okay, consider what's coming. Consider what I've told you. If you have diminishing returns, you're looking at a $1,500 Monero. If you have the 1,800% return from that flag that you had last time, guys, or you just bring this flag over, right, from here to here, that's how you measure the expected move from a bull flag, guys. You're looking at $3,400, $3,500 Monero. So it's pretty crazy. And so, guys, that is my bull case. I believe this will go down as one of the greatest predictions of all time. I think people are going to look back at this and say, holy shit, that was the most obvious prediction ever. Okay, the truth is, who's putting emphasis on this right now? Are your favorite influencers talking about this right now? None of your favorite influencers are talking about this. They're all hyping up gaming, metaverse, shitcoins. Okay? And they're hyping up video games that aren't going to be around in 10 years from now and shit like this, okay? And guys, this is it. Okay? Remember, when your favorite influencer starts talking about Monero, remember where it started. It started with the Monero community, and hopefully in 6 years from now we can look back and we can say that I helped you, and that, part of it started with me as well. You know what I mean? That's my, hopefully, assuming my prediction turns out to be one of the greatest predictions, comes true. Now, once again, back to my salute to all the OG Monero community and people who have been involved, regardless of price, stacking Monero, uh, you know, based on the core beliefs, their principles, their values. Like I said, salute. Okay, absolute most respect to you guys. All right, and it is going to pay the fuck off. I guarantee it, guys. All right, and let me address a couple concerns. Well, if it's so regulated, Crashes, if it, can't the government just delist it on every single exchange? One, guys, this is an entire world we're talking about here. There's always competition. So if one country has to delist it, or if 99% of countries delist it, guys, there's always going to be some country that is going to take advantage and is going to list the coin. Okay, there's always going to be a way to buy Monero, guys. And like I said, one man's trash is another man's gold or pleasure, right? And so if one country doesn't want or can't, provide Monero on their exchange, guys, that's going to leave way more growth for another country that does allow it, right? So free world, free market. That's my number one rebuttal to, well, what if government regulates it, right? Dude, don't worry. There's going to be some country that's willing to take it, right? Like El Salvador is over here taking fucking Bitcoin. They're starting off, taking Bitcoin. Why? Because they want to spark their economy, right? Like, there's always going to be a country who's going to go for it. And I just want you to know that, let's say every single goddamn country in this world delists Monero. One, there's going to be decentralized exchanges and ways to get it. But I'll fucking tell you something, guys. I will take over. We got to take over a country ourselves, all right? I'll take over Djibouti. I will go to Djibouti in Africa, and I will tell them, look, guys, I am the greatest predictor to ever set foot on this planet, and I predict that if you don't step down and give me this country, that I predict your demise. Okay, god damn, I wish I would have said that smoother. I said that pretty shitty, guys. But guys, I will fucking go to Djibouti myself, and I will seize that country. Okay, because if the governments across the world are going to try to seize our money, then we'll have to seize a country ourselves, or go start a country ourselves. Guys, at the end of the day, I don't want to seize Djibouti. I don't want to take over Djibouti. That's kind of funny, guys. I wasn't planning on making a joke here. But, guys, I don't want to take over Djibouti. I think we can make a compromise and make a mutually respectable agreement. And so, like I'm telling you guys, there is so much opportunity here. If all the countries want to ban it, guys, I promise you, one country is going to allow it, and we can take over that country our goddamn selves. All right. So there is my my rebuttal against, oh, well, what if the U.S. bans it, whatever. Guys, let all the countries ban it. We'll go take over a country. All right. And if you don't think that's a serious answer, well, once again, there's competition in this world, and some countries are going to allow it. I guarantee it. All right. If you want to buy Monero, guys, without KYC, you can go to KuCoin. I don't even have an affiliate link with them. All right, I think their user experience, or like their user interface, is so shitty. It looks so nasty. And this is not my exchange of choice for like actual trading, guys. If you want to sign up for a great exchange for trading, I'd recommend BitGet or Femex. Okay, I'll leave those links down below for you, but they sadly don't have Monero on their exchange. Okay, but nonetheless, like, even though KuCoin has like this nasty UI and UX, like, it's gross, guys. But I am so damn thankful for this exchange that I can go here and I can buy Monero without KYC. Okay, so I'm forever grateful for them for as long as they are, have Monero on their exchange. There's other options. Okay, you can go over here to CoinMarketCap. You can go to Market, and you can see everywhere that you can get Monero. All right. Another thing I want to point out, okay, is look at this, guys. Monero is a $2 billion market cap. Okay, has the same tokenomics as Bitcoin, except instead of the supply stopping in 2140, there's going to be a tail emission. It's already started, actually, where there's going to be a predetermined set rate at which the price inflates, or not the price, but at which the coin supply inflates. So it's all transparent, I guess, ahead of time. It's not, you're not getting any surprise. No one's just going to randomly mint a million coins out of thin air here. All right, and so you actually can see Monero has less coins than Bitcoin in circulation, and it's going to have less coins than Bitcoin in circulation until 2040. All right, and then after that, it's going to obviously have that tail emissions. You can do your own research on exactly how that works. Okay, but basically, Like, tokenomics are not a problem. I know a lot of people say, well, Monero has infinite supply. Well, Monero also has less supply than Bitcoin until 2040. So as far as I'm concerned, the next 20 years, you're definitely not worried. And even after that, the inflation rate is set, predetermined, and you can literally go and see what it's going to be. So there's no surprises here, guys. So Monero actually is supposed to have like overall like 1% ish or less inflation a year, when averaged out across like the next 100, 200 years. Okay, so once again, that, that these technicalities and these exact details, I'm sure some guys in Monero can explain that part way better than me. Like, here's the beautiful thing about charts, guys. You don't even have to know that the CBDC is coming. Okay, you don't even need to know what Monero does. You just need to look at this chart. And that's what I tell you guys is I'm 90% charts, right? I'm 90% technical analysis. And so even if I didn't know CBDC was coming, even if I didn't know about BTC, digital yuan, all this bullshit, guys, look at the goddamn chart. That's all you need to know. End of story. Zcash, Dash, whatever trash, CBDC, digital yuan, blah, blah, blah. Look at the goddamn chart. You have a massive cup and handle, bull flag, projected target 3,500, and I believe it's coming, guys. So I'm very excited, and this is, in my opinion, one of the biggest, greatest plays of the century. And I hope this video ages incredibly, and I hope you come back in 6 years from now if this video isn't taken down, and you say, Alex, holy shit. Okay, because everyone already knows I'm the greatest predictor to ever set foot on this planet, and this one right here will really cement me as that. All right, so I told you guys where you can buy Monero without KYC. I've explained to you guys the valuation of Monero and how it's at 2 billion market cap with the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. Remember how much money is probably going to be flowing into Monero if I'm right. Okay, and let me tell you one more thing. Like, guys, I could talk about this shit for 10 hours. Okay, but I think this has to be one of the best videos to explain to like a normal guy who needs to be explained why Monero. Okay, and without getting into necessarily all the technical details, ring signatures, and all this stuff. If you just want to explain to someone, from a dummy version, like someone like me, guys, to explain this, I think this is the perfect video to just, explain to someone what's coming and why this is such an incredible opportunity, right? So let me tell you something. Let's say 90% of people in the world are okay with CBDC. 90% of people are okay with the government seizing control, having control of their funds. 90% of people in the world are okay with a government custodial issued or non-custodial issued wallet, right? Imagine, like, to me, if you're in crypto, that should sound like absolute fucking stupid. Like what the fuck? Like, that's all I have to say about that, right? But let's say 90% of the world is fucking sheep, idiots, and they're okay with that. Okay? Still, think about 10% of the world coming into Monero. Okay? Like that should tell you the upside. That should tell you how, holy shit, here we are at 29th spot, 2 billion market cap. When you look around, do any of these things change the world like Monero possibly can? Do any of these things protect us from CBDC, something so major coming? None of these things have the upside and the disruptive potential and ability to change the world that Monero has. Look at Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Near Protocol, Cosmos, VeChain, Decentraland. I promise you, pretty much none of these things have the massive upside potential that Monero has. And that's why when you realize, okay, Monero has pretty much the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. It's got less supply than Bitcoin until 2040. And it is Bitcoin, but private. You understand that when I tell you buying Monero at $100 is actually like buying Bitcoin at $100. And I believe that once the train gets going, you will not be able to stop it. And this has been this accumulation phase, this absolute, guys, Monero is a sleeping giant waiting to be awakened. And I feel so blessed because I wasn't here in 2017, 2016, back when Monero was at $6. So I feel extremely blessed that this sleeping giant has been hibernating. And you know what happens when you come out of hibernation and you haven't ate in months? You come to fucking eat and demolish, all right? And that's what Monero is, a bear in hibernation, the base and the foundation, the rest, everything has been built over time. It's been just a magnificent hibernation, guys. Like, I'm getting metaphorical here, maybe trying to sound a little inspirational. Guys, you can tell I love to talk about this. I could talk about this shit for 10 hours, and this is truly just such an amazing play over the coming 6, 10, 30 years, in my opinion. And of course, there, we could say, hey, could Bitcoin be replaced? Yeah, it could fucking be replaced by Monero, right? So you could say, hey, could Monero be replaced by a better solution or alternative? Sure, it could, but as of now, by far, this is the number one solution in privacy. And so, just like Bitcoin is the number one at what it is, guys, we can sit here and we can say, but is there an Ethereum killer? Is there a Bitcoin killer? Is something going to replace Bitcoin? Like, see, you see what I mean? We can all say here, and we can all sit here and say that stuff. Like, but what if this replaces it, right? Okay, so that's my counter to that is anything can be replaced. But we have to live with the information that we have right now and see what is the absolute best solution and what do people care, like, use. And like I said, the dark web, the people who value privacy the absolute most or need it the absolute most, what are they using? So that is my breakdown, guys. And I know this is a longer video, but guys, I could have talked about this for 10 fucking hours and I condensed it down into 35 minutes. So anyone who's looking to get into Monero or understand it on a base level without getting into all the technical details, ring signatures, all that, I think this is the video. And I think this is a video that, like I said at the beginning, will age like fine wine. And maybe in 6 years you come back to me and you're not going to be able to tell me how much Monero you got because it's private. Don't tell me how much Monero you got. I don't want to know. And just you can thank me later. But anyways, guys, I'm someone who's usually extremely level-headed. I'm all about logic. I'm all about the charts, right? And this is one of the few times you'll see maybe a little emotion involved, a little bit of maybe hopium involved, right? And what I say to that is, one, do your own research. Two, this lines up very, very strongly with my core values and beliefs, and that's why you can probably tell that I'm more passionate about it. But guys, like I said, even if I didn't know what Monero was, even if I didn't know CBDC was coming, digital yuan, all the stuff that's going on in the world, if I just looked at this chart, I would be buying, right? And so that's what's insane about this play is fundamentally it's there. Core values, principles, beliefs, they're there. But most importantly, more important than all, the technicals, the charts, it points to it too, right? And so look guys, I'm here sharing my opinion on something I believe strongly in, both technically and fundamentally. If you can find a way to hate on that, then fuck you. That's all I really got to say, right? And I already know, I'm sure I'll have like maybe 2 people comment below because there's no such thing as posting something on the internet without getting hate. I'm sure 2 people will go in the comments and say, "Oh, Crashes, you're trying to pump and dump this coin on your viewers." Like there's such stupid people. It's a $2 billion market cap. It's the 29th coin, and of course I'll have 2 fucking idiots. So you're trying to pump and dump the coin. Like this is the number one thing that makes me hate YouTube. That makes me hate Twitter. That makes me hate ever putting anything on the internet. Is having to deal with like the 1 to 2 fucking idiots. Okay, but besides that, I know 99% of people watching this video are great people probably. So, I'm putting this out there for you, whether you agree or not. I hope you enjoyed it. See my view, and I'm not telling you to buy. I'm telling you this is my view, and this is why I'm buying. And I'm not telling you to buy nothing, guys. Everything has risk, and I just think this is I think this will be one of my greatest calls in my life, if not the greatest call in my life. But we'll see. I could totally be wrong, right? We'll see. But yeah, you know me. Like I said, I never want to get people jacked up on hope, right? I never want to get people emotional about something. But like I said, it's not just emotions, guys. This is technically and fundamentally perfect. Okay, so you cannot just say, "Oh, you're just trying to." You're full of hope, kid. You know nothing. Go suck a dick and get the hell out of here. And yeah, guys, if you're just finding my channel, super glad to have you here. If you're looking to follow me on Twitter, my handle there is CrashesClay69. And as the greatest predictor to ever set foot on this planet, I believe this will be my greatest prediction ever. So salute to everyone, and hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.